Sonic Mania feels like a fan game. Now, if this were any other series, that probably would have been a derogatory statement, but Sonic is a unique case, as his fanbase is filled with many talented and passionate folks whose work has most definitely not gone unnoticed by Sega, hence why Mania exists in the first place. Sega picked up some notable figures in the fan game community to truly create an experience that was by the fans and for the fans. So basically, it's a similar situation to Mega Man X Street Fighter, except unlike Capcom, Sega actually put in some effort. You all know about Christian Whitehead by now, as he's been working with Sega since the 2011 port of Sonic CD, so I don't need to waste much time talking about him. If Sega wanted to have a 2D Sonic game done correctly, then Whitehead is an essential asset, but that's not to say that he went at it alone, as he was joined by Simon Tomley and Hunter Bridges. I can't say I've ever heard of Bridges before, but Tomley I was aware of as he did a proper port of Sonic 1 for the GBA, something that not even Sega could do, so you can see why they hired this man. But enough about that. Let's look at the game itself. Sonic Mania's story is presented in a similar vein to 3 and Knuckles. In fact, it's so similar that it even starts off with Sonic and Tails flying to Angel Island Zone, where Dr. Eggman's new minions, the Hard-Boiled Heavies, are mining a mysterious stone called the Phantom Ruby. The Phantom Ruby then JoJo references Sonic and Tails all the way to Green Hill Zone. Unfortunately, Angel Island Zone won't be heard from for the rest of the game. So now it's up to Sonic and Tails to chase Eggman and his new minions through zones both new and old. It's really just that simple, and we don't need anything more as far as the plot goes. At first glance, Sonic Mania appears to use a classic 16-bit art style, but upon further inspection you'll see that there's a little more to it than that. For one thing, no animation in this game is simply reused. Rather, more frames of animation have been added to just about every reused sprite. The intention with Mania wasn't so much to make a new Genesis Sonic game, but rather to fill in the gap that is Sonic's legacy on the Saturn. And come on, some of this wouldn't even be possible on the Genesis in the first place. Aside from all of the in-game graphics is a fantastic intro sequence helmed by Tyson Hess of Sonic Mega Drive comic fame. This intro far surpasses the classic Sonic CD opening, and combined with that awesome music, I could just sit here and watch this all day. Speaking of music, the soundtrack to this game goes above and beyond, with amazing tracks composed by the godly T-Lopes. I think I should just take a moment here to let you listen to a few of my personal favorites. Oh, wait, how did that get in here? Sorry, Junie boy, but nobody enjoyed listening to dying cats. Gameplay, on the other hand, is incredible. This is obviously not the first time a Sonic game tried to replicate classic-style gameplay, but Sonic 4 was just all wrong. And as much as I love Generations, I can't say that the classic stages properly replicate the feeling of the original trilogy. Of course, Sonic Mania hits every note just right with the physics. Despite being a game built from the ground up, the controls would have you believe that you're playing a glorified ROM hack, which just goes to show the intense attention to detail the developers brought to the table. Sonic controls exactly the same way he does in 3 and K. However, instead of having an insta-shield, he now has a drop dash ability, which is really fun to play around with to gain little bursts of speed. Though Sonic wasn't the only character invited to the party, as for the first time in who knows how long, Tails and Knuckles join the playable roster, and just like 3 and K, they have their own unique paths to take in the stages. Knuckles in particular even has his own exclusive level and boss fight. All 3 characters play flawlessly. However, some of the boss fights can prove to be a bit more of a challenge as Knuckles because white men can't jump?
Oh no!
As I mentioned before, Sonic has the new drop dash ability in place of the insta-shield. However, you can unlock additional modes to replace the drop dash with either the super peel out from CD or the insta-shield, in addition to other game modes like and Knuckles mode, where Knuckles will follow you around even if you're playing as Knuckles already. These modes can be unlocked by grabbing medals from the Blue Sphere bonus stages. Yep, that's correct. Blue Sphere returns from 3 and K, and the best part is that your medal collecting progress stays the same through all of your save files, because if that wasn't the case, these stages would be a pain. In fact, I myself still haven't retrieved all of the medals. Now, Blue Sphere is fine and dandy, but how do you get the Chaos Emeralds? Well, by finding giant rings hidden in each stage and going to these Sonic R-type special stages, where you have to try to cut as many corners as you can to catch up to the UFO. These special stages are a lot of fun, and honestly are probably my favorite out of the 2D Sonic games. They may take you a while to get the hang of at first, but after a few attempts, you should have no problem nabbing all 7 emeralds. Like the other classic games, you get to play as the character's super form once you get all the emeralds, and in Sonic's case you'll even get a true final boss and ending. Knuckles and Tails, however, just don't get that same treatment, but it is at least cool to see their super forms. Sonic Mania is overall a fantastic experience I would recommend to anyone who enjoys a good platforming romp, but if you're a hardcore Sonic fan, all of the little references and bits of fan service will make this already amazing game even more enjoyable. Of course, no game is perfect. Mania can sometimes have weird collision issues and audio glitches, but unless you're an asshole, then none of these minor flaws should bring the game down for you one bit. Whether you decide to get the standard $20 download or go all out and get the collector's edition with the awesome statue, you're definitely making a wise investment with this game. And well, that just about does it, folks. I don't know what more I can say about Sonic Mania that hasn't already been said, other than if you haven't played it yet, please do. By avoiding it, you're only doing yourself a disservice. But I digress. Sonic Mania wasn't the only Sonic game released this year, as we also have Sonic Forces, and if you've been paying attention, then you would know that both of these games tie into each other. Well, you guys have already heard how I feel about Mania. As for Forces, well, stay tuned, my friends, and I promise this next video won't take months to do.